What's up, YouTube? It's Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I talk about fragrances and fashion on this channel. So if you mess with your boy, I'm going to have you looking and smelling good. That's what I'm trying to say. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, make sure you hit the bell icon as well. That way, you get notified when I upload new content as well on this channel. Guys, on today, I'm going to be talking about 10 signature scent fragrances that'll help you stand out from the crowd. And what I mean specifically on this video by stand out from the crowd is the fact that the 10 fragrances that I'm going to talk about on this list, nobody, and I mean nobody, are talking about these 10 fragrances, at least that I've seen that much on YouTube. Now, of course, I'm not saying that nobody has ever mentioned these fragrances, but they are 10 great fragrances, in my opinion, that are signature scents, that perform pretty good, that you can wear pretty much anytime, any place, anywhere, any reason, any season, any occasion. And that makes, of course, the perfect signature scent. Now, of course, and like I said, the reason that I feel like you'll stand out from the crowd is because I'm pretty sure there aren't many people that are going to be wearing the fragrances that I'm going to talk about on this list, because, again, there's not a whole lot of buzz out there about them. But at the end of the day, they are great, in my opinion, for that purpose. Signature scents are fragrances that can kind of be a one and done. If you're a person that's not really into having a huge collection, it's great to have signature scents because they offer some versatility for you, because they're not really kind of restricted to seasons or occasions per se. So I have 10 great fragrances that I want to talk to you guys about today. So if you want to see what's on the list, you know the routine, man. Keep it locked right here.
Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump into the list of fragrances. So, again, guys, if you want to stand out, you want to have a signature scent that not everybody's going to be wearing and talking about, this is going to be the list for you today. So, the first fragrance up on the list today comes from the house of Acqu Di Gio Paris, and this is called Curacao Bay. Curacao Bay. Now, what I like about this one is it has a nice citrus opening, but there's some citrus opening, but it has some nice depth to this fragrance. It's not just like a very light citrus fragrance that you're probably accustomed to wearing. And again, signature scents are fragrances that can really be worn in all seasons. So while it is very appropriate for the spring and summer, I think this is something that you can get away wearing year round, because it has a nice citrus opening, but it has a nice woody base to it. Some woods, there's some ambergris in here as well. So again, it's just one of those fragrances that's kind of easy to wear, that I can see you wearing in any situation or any circumstance. And I think a big bottle like this is not really that expensive to pick up or procure a bottle of this fragrance. So it's one that I think more people should be taking a look at. It's really, really good. Again, nothing offensive at all about this fragrance, and that's, I think, something that's you want to look for in a signature scent. So that's one that I highly recommend, guys. And again, nobody's really talking about this stuff from the house of Acqu Di Gio Paris. This one is called Curacao Bay. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on this list is the perfect signature scent, especially if you love a nice tea note. And this one is from the house of Milano, and this is called Russian Tea. Russian Tea. This is the perfect pairing, the perfect juxtaposition of tea and leather. To me, those really couldn't be two more opposite kind of notes. One is kind of smoky, oftentimes warm, and then you have one that's really relaxing and calm. Again, very much opposite ends of the spectrum, but it blends together nicely, and neither one of them kind of dominate the fragrance. It's a great blend of those kind of two opposite accords, if you will, which makes it the perfect signature scent. You know, it can be worn year round, to me pretty much any season, any reason, any occasion, and it is a very, very unique scent. And that's what the list is about today, unique signature scents that nobody's really talking about. So check this one out, guys, from the house of Milano. Again, this one is called Russian Tea. All right, guys, and the next fragrance up on the list today, again, comes from a house that I know not many people talk about this house, but more people should because they have some amazing, unique offerings. And this was from the house of Profumo Roma, and this one is called Alba. And this is called Alba. This one has hazelnut, iris, so it really, lavender, it kind of gives me barbershop kind of vibe, but it's not a barbershop scent. It's not a fougere. Again, iris, so you have that powderiness in there, you have that nuttiness that comes in from the almond. And like most of that fragrances, nice citrus on the top as well with a little bit of hazelnut and almond. Hazelnut is in here as well. Beautiful scent. Beautiful scent, perfect for, again, any reason, any occasion, perfect signature scent. Really, really love this one. Again, like I said, I think this house is a house that deserves more talk because not a lot of people talk about fragrances from the house of Profumo Roma. And it could be because I've never seen these fragrances on any discounting site. So that could really play a part into why it's not as popular as some other niche houses. Because you would think a house that really features these heavily citrus kind of focused fragrances, because that's kind of the focus. They have a lot of fragrances that opens up berries, with a lot of nice citruses, orange, lemon, and all that kind of stuff. You would think those kind of fragrances will get more talk, but again, I think there's reasons for that. But guys, check this one out. Amazing signature scent. And again, nobody's going to be wearing this stuff and talking about it from the house of Profumo Roma. This is called Alba. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list comes from the house of Teo Cabanel, and this is called Je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi. I love this fragrance. Very, very unique scent DNA. Now, it opens up with this rice accord. Opens up with a accord of rice and tea. And honestly, what it comes across to me is two things I would compare it to. There's a fragrance by Novitas called The Embrace that has this sesame accord. So it gives this almost gourmand kind of nutty smell to this fragrance. And also I would akin it to the smell of, I'm not sure which cereal, maybe something like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something like that. When you open up a box of cereal, the cardboard combined with that kind of sweetness that you get from cereal when you first open a box is kind of what this reminds me of. It may not ring well or resonate well with some of you, but that's what I kind of get from that. But it's beautiful. It's very, very unique. Again, can be worn year round in my opinion. Very unique scent. It smells really, really good. I wouldn't call it a gourmand, although it kind of teeters in that territory. It has some violet leaf in here, so in the heart it gets a little bit green, as well as some nice creamy sandalwood on the dry down. Amazing fragrance. And again, it's one that nobody really talks about. But if you want a unique signature scent that will help you stand out, I think this one, of course, will get the job done as well. From the house of Teo Cabanel, this one is called Je ne sais quoi. All right, so the next fragrance up on this list, guys, comes from the house of Allure, and this one is called Wet Stone. Wet Stone. When I first read the note breakdown for this, as well as White Hinoki, which is another very unique fragrance from this brand, I thought that I would probably like White Hinoki better, but this is the star from the collection of the white bottles from Allure. Ginger and vetiver and cardamom are the main notes to my nose. And again, this is just one of those fragrances when it hits your skin, man. It's a very, 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 very unique scent, but it is unique, but in a way kind of familiar, but it smells really, really fantastic. Again, I'm not going to keep saying this because it's the theme of the list, but definitely a fragrance because of the way that it's composed, that you can wear this thing year round easily, man. So check this one out from the house of Allure. Again, this one is called Wet Stone. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list comes from the house of Sweet Oft. I've talked about this house before, but again, it's not a house that a lot of people really talk about. And this one is called Afrodite. Afrodite, and the contrast here, which makes this scent very unique, is this contrast of florals, primarily neroli, with a nice ambery base. And but again, it's a very unique scent profile. I have never really smelled anything like this, but it's really, really pleasant and easy to wear. So if you're a person that kind of likes florals and that this is very unisex, so a man or a woman could wear this, This is one that I highly recommend as a signature scent because again, it's very unique and nobody else is talking about this and it doesn't smell like anything else I've ever smelled. So check this one out from the house of Sweet All. Again, this one is called Aphrodite. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list. This house, to me, used to get some pretty significant attention back in the day, but nobody really talks about them anymore. But this is a great signature scent from the house. It's from the house of Sillage, and this is number 2. Number 2, another one that has a nice citrus opening is a combination of grapefruit and mandarin orange. Very, very uplifting scent as it opens up, and as it dries down, you get some cedar wood, some vetiver, and musk in this one. Again, you gotta know the theme of the list. And like I said, this house used to get talked about a lot more back in the day, but nobody really talks about it now. But this is like, to me, the perfect signature scent from the collection. So check this one out. Again, it's from the house of Sillage, and again, this is number 2. All right, guys, so the next fragrance on this list comes from my brand that I've talked about a few times on the channel, the house of Allure de Gio. This one is called Coco de Yaman. Coco de Yaman. And this one is basically, guys, the coconut in this gives you this tropical vibe, but it is paired well with some vanilla as well as amber. So you got the coconut, so you get, again, that kind of tropical vibe, but it's not the typical tropical scent because it doesn't stay citrusy, tropical, aquatic. It gives that warm vanilla and ambery base, man. Perfect combination of notes, again, that makes something that's very unique that you really could get away with wearing year round. To me, coconut is a note oftentimes when you find that in a fragrance, it's very typical that it's kind of, made to be worn in people's minds in the summertime because it usually gives this very tropical appeal to fragrances, which I agree with. But here, combined with that, again, that sweet vanilla and that nice warm ambery base, it really gives a unique scent profile, like I said, that could be worn pretty much year round. So check this one out, guys. To me, this is probably my favorite from that brand, from the house of Allure de Gio. Again, this is called Coco de Yaman. All right, guys, and last but not least, the last fragrance that I want to talk about on this list, I introduced this fragrance brand to you guys last week. And again, the perfect signature scent from that collection, House of Lamar Paris. This is called Noble Kavali. Noble Kavali. Citrus opening, bergamot, grapefruit, lemon. There's a little bit of, I think, maybe basil as it opens up as well. So you start to get some spices that come in there when it starts to, after about that first 5 minutes, that first initial citrus blast. When you get that citrus, nice, beautiful citrus accord in the opening, start to get some spice in this. Basil, cardamom starts to come into play. You get a nice little hint of green apple that peeks into this as well. But the lavender in this really helps to kind of balance the balance between the citruses and the spicier accords in this fragrance. And of course, as it dries down, man, you get some sandalwood, amber, vetiver, a little bit of fir balsam in here as well, man. Again, perfect signature scent from this brand. This is probably one that when some people smell it, it probably remind you of some of those designer scents in a way. But that's just because it comes across as being such a mass appealing kind of DNA. But check that one out, guys, from the house of Lamar Paris. Again, nobody's talking about this fragrance. Again, that one is called Noble Kavali. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed the list today as I gave you 10 signature scents to stand out from the crowd. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And share these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, the bow-tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you flip side.